Welcome back. There seems to be a twist in the alleged diversion of building materials and other items meant for the internally displaced people in Bakassi, Cross River State. Now the youths and elders of the community are on the streets demanding the constitution of a probe panel to investigate allegations of diversion of relief materials. The whistle on the alleged theft was first blown by a former senator representing the Bakassi people, Florence Itagiwa. Now the people are alleging that she is the mastermind.
People are suffering in this rain.
Senator Florence Itagiwa weeping profusely, alleging that relief materials meant for IDPs has been stolen. Now, the matter is getting more complex as the youth and Bakassi leaders are pointing accusing fingers at the same Mrs. Itagiwa who raised the alarm.
Go and tell them, you don't want Itagiwa. Go and tell them, go and tell them, you don't want Itagiwa again.
Most of the items, such as foodstuff, clothing, and roofing materials, have been taken away to be sold out. But those who need the materials are still living in shanties.
She must be probed. She has called for probe. We are supporting the probe into the resettlement program or process of Bakassi people. Yes. So we are gathered as a people to say that Itagiwa has been doing a disservice to the people of Bakassi, and that is why her call has now prompted our own call. She was the chairman of the Bakassi Resettlement Committee when I was the chairman. Billions of naira was expended.
It's over a month since the materials were released by the federal government through the Refugee Commission, but the same materials disappeared immediately.
It is now clear to us that Senator Florence Itagiwa could not gain full control of distributions of materials that meant for the displaced person, had it has been happening in several years, even at December, which rice was given by the state government for the distribution to our returnees and other people from Bakassi that was controlled by her.
Even the State Emergency Management Agency is not spared by the protesters, as they wonder why the body will hand over the materials to the local government instead of direct delivery to the IDPs.
Since there were factions about who to take materials there, the best person I should give to is the head of security in that council, and that's the whole guy. And that was exactly what I did. And I did that with specific instruction that this thing gets there. But when I heard it, that relief materials meant for the Bakassi people in Abana were found in the private home, I was amazed.
For Senator Itagiwa, those pointing accusing fingers at her are enemies of the people.
I'm buying things to give to those people. So why would you now, go and hide things from me somewhere? That's why I raised the alarm. Because there are two, from my own thinking, there's the criminal aspect of this thing, and there's also the scheming that are trying to scheme us out of this country.
Over a month ago, the Deputy Governor of Cross River State handed over the items for distribution to affected victims. Little did he know that the materials will be diverted by the local government administrators. And up till now, it's not clear where the materials are kept, which has now become a subject of dispute.
Meanwhile, Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has vowed to implement to the letter all aspects of the law prohibiting open grazing of livestock across the state, beginning from November 2017. Governor Otom gave the assurance when he received members of the National Council of TV Youths who were holding a peaceful protest to register their concern over the recent threats made by the Mieti Allah group. The group presented its protest letter to the governor for onward transmission to the acting president.
By the passage of this very popular bill, the Mieti Allah declared that he shall mobilize all her members to resist the law. Your Excellency, this outburst is not only treasonable, but also incitement of the public to rise against a constituted authority and should be visited with appropriate legal responses.
I am an elected governor of Benue State to provide security for lives and property. And I cannot be presiding over dead people the way it has happened in the last 2 years. I want to assure you and the people of Benue State that we are going to implement that law. Every provision in that law will be implemented. We went through due process. It was an executive bill. We passed it through the State House of Assembly. The State House of Assembly did their first and second reading and went as far as doing public hearing on this bill. The Fulani men were invited and they were represented. Mayeti Allah were invited. They were represented. If they choose to live in Benue State, they must obey the laws of the land.
The residents of Amikwo in Oka, Anambra State, are unhappy over what they call their neglect by the state government. Because of the rains, most streets, particularly Obunagu DK streets, are completely flooded, leaving no room for even school children who use that street as an access road to their schools. Our community report tonight highlights the hardship faced by the residents as a result of the flooding.
This stretch of road you see is the Obunagu DK in Oka, Anambra State. Apart from being the only access road to the only government secondary school in the community, it also provides access to 3 other communities, and for 3 years the road has remained impassable.
The government has never done anything on this road. This road is the only road that leads to Kenedike Memorial Secondary School, Amikwoka. And Kenedike Memorial Secondary School is the only state school we have in this community of 5 villages. Because of this flood, the students can no longer go to school, as you can see, and they are protesting the deplorable condition of this road.
And rightly so, because they are the ones who traverse the street almost on a daily basis. It's usually not an easy task going through this road, as the students often remove their footwears to ensure they do not slip into water.
Students are finding it difficult to come to school. Whenever there is rain, they cannot come to school except there is a car or any other means of coming to school that is vehicle.
The students of Kenneth DK Secondary School and the residents are hopeful that the government will come to the aid, but they fear that response time may not be quick, judging by their past experience.
A woman that was living in our compound, the flood broke her fence down and shattered the compound, and at the cost the woman lost her life.
The one that is coming from the upper side of Obinago, there's no way for the water to go.
However, the government blames the people for lacking maintenance culture.
We have discovered, to our greatest surprise, that is the residents that are the cause of the flooding. Yes, water must always find its level, but you have seen for yourself that our people block the drains intentionally with the kiosk. Some people are just extended their own houses.
The solution is at our hand. There must be these illegal structures have to be removed completely.
Several buildings here have been marked for demolition, but no action has been taken yet, because according to government officials, their owners have remained adamant, and it's unclear when the government will visit again to carry out the demolition order.
Ghana boasts of one of Africa's emerging destinations for tourism-related activities, as the small West African nation's peaceful environment and hospitable culture stands out as major attractions globally. Within Ghana's bustling hospitality industry, a local culture which celebrates human diversity is giving rise to the domestication of a new global industry which has generated revenues exceeding $2 billion in 2016 alone. In this report, our correspondent, Ajirin Galali, traverses the West African sub-region and discovers the new non-oil economic opportunities are possible in Nigeria if Nigerians open their doors.
In the tourism subsector, you can see behind me a bevy of beautiful and luxurious hotels, but hidden in the lush landscapes is an emerging industry.
As the early dawn succumbs to daybreak, Greek music underlays the sound of construction. Ever expanding his compound for enhanced guest capacity. This is the weekend soundtrack in Gideon Lustig's premises. Residing in Accra, Ghana for the last 30 years after a life in Europe, this engineer says African hospitality changed his life.
Having children here, I learned to know the values of what is a family, which I learned in Africa. I learned in Africa a lot, much more than what I teach Africa.
Gideon and his Ghanaian Nigerian wife Gladys host and cater for world travelers in their home.
We need to help one another. We need to work hard. We need to respect each other.
As Nigeria's federal government attempts to fight against corruption, a journey through the cityscape is largely incomplete without seeing illegitimately acquired properties sealed off by the EFCC in what has become emblematic of Nigeria's compassion deficit, the same compassion which yields legitimate dividends in other countries.
Nigerian hotels are often overpriced, and Nigeria's massive population of interstate travelers creates a revenue-generating opportunity for homeowners in a country where diversity is often cynically framed for the achievement of narrow political objectives.
If you have a guest who come to Nigeria and is being hosted and he's happy and he see a Nigerian family, when they are going abroad again, they will spread the experience which they have.
Evident here is that beauty results when diversity is met with empathy and kindness. And in the house of this expatriate, a warm heart is made wealthy in more ways than one. In Accra, Ghana, Ajuri Ngelale reporting for Channels Television News.
And back home in Nigeria, the Delta State government has assembled school students in Isoko South local government area, preaching to them the dangers of cultism. More than 700 students from 20 schools are involved in this awareness campaign, and the speakers dwelt on the dangers of cultism, asking the students to stay away because it destroys the future of a child.
The increase in the number of secret cults in secondary schools has left school administrators, teachers, parents, and people themselves worried.
You can be a governor, you can be anything, a senator, or anything you can think of, a doctor or engineer, whatever. But with cultism, you cannot get there.
In schools where cultists and cultism exist, many pupils live in overwhelming dread caused by occasional accidents, disputes, threats, and even deaths.
When you go into cultism, one, I found in the course of my work as chairman of anti-cult committee that those accused of cultism were performing very poorly in exams. I noticed that they dominated the list of those involved in exam malpractices, exam misconduct.
This is what the Delta State government is seeking to put an end to, hence this gathering.
I would say cultism really destroys the youth in their ambition in life. So I would advise them to be serious.
You should stay away from cultism because it doesn't help. It's not of any good to our health. It's not of any good to our education and our future.
Over 700 pupils from various secondary schools are here to get sensitized on the dangers associated with cultism and cult activities.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Abia Warriors hold unbeaten run of leaders Plateau United in match day 25 of Nigeria Professional Football League. We'll have more coming up in sports news. Please join us again.